All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It is the Super Week here at ESL ESEA. I'm Addis with me, Senlo. We've got a good lineup of matches for you guys tonight. In fact, some of them just got a little bit better because we swapped out one of the SK games for a NaVi Dignitas.
Your Danes are crying big salty tears hearing you say that, Anders.
Yeah, I know. I'm heartless
You're
like
a traitor.
that, you know.
Heartless hind.
Well, I did swap them in for like another Danish team, so I mean, in that sense, it kind of works out. You know?
Yeah, I guess, what was it? A Danish team that has a chance of making it to the LAN?
I think those words might have been said, yeah, at some point. Sorry, SK.
It's hard to be harsh with SK. Well, yeah, because they're sitting 0-9 in the group right now, so it's pretty much like any chance, any hope of them actually making the LAN.
And apparently Config is just left, and
Config
is super
left.
good, so I don't know.
He was pretty much like the brighten up and coming talent, I think, for a lot of the Danes out there.
So what we have is Dignitas and NaVi on Overpass with Hellraisers and Dignitas and Mirage, Virtus Pro and Fnatic on Cash, and then SK and Dignitas ends up with a Danish brawl again there on Cash. So we will get to see them tonight. Not exactly sure what the lineup is going to be. Maybe Config will stick around and still play, but you know, just like, who knows?
Probably not. I mean, who do you bring in at that point? Are they Barry? I mean, I don't know. Who is actually going to be able to do a stand-in? They'll probably be able to find somebody, right?
Yeah.
Let's check, actually. It's probably going to be listed over. Let's see.
I guess we could figure it out. But either way, we'll take a look at the standings here in the league, because we are getting sort of halfway through everything, and it's getting a little bit interesting here. TSM taking the top away from Fnatic here. 12 matches played each, but you can see a little bit better for TSM at the moment. So NaVi and Dignitas we're going to be playing today, that's going to be a really important game.
Pretty much. I mean, both of them are pretty much dancing on the edge right now. Dignitas don't really have any more room for error. I mean, going into last season, 5-6 losses, that was pretty much at the cutoff point before you started getting into tie situations where it would come down to round difference loss if you were to go forward or not. So they are right on the edge right now. If Dignitas were to beat NaVi, that pretty much tombs NaVi, whereas Dignitas, if they lose it, that's pretty much it. They're done. So it's yeah, that is going to be one hell of a match to start the night off with, because it's extremely charged as far as the groups are concerned. And then we kind of like drop down a little bit lower here in the groups, down to the bottom half of the European teams. There's 12 teams total. NIP still kind of dancing on the edge themselves. Virtus Pro are pretty much, yeah, it's starting to get nasty here, Anders.
Yeah, that's also
losses.
Why it made sense to swap out the SK Hellraisers game, because whoever wins that game won't be getting very much closer to doing anything.
Sure.
They have like a couple of matches played there. I mean, Hellraisers, I guess, are only 6 matches, so they could could at least get higher up in the standings if they suddenly won like all their matches in a row. But still, we'll have to pick up on that. But if it starts to happen, I feel like. You don't believe it at all, do you? Well, I don't know. I mean, I think it's actually going to be a pretty good game, this one. Dignitas and NaVi, they both should realize how much is at stake here. And I think they just swapped places as well in the standings. So, yeah, there's some battle already going on between those two.
Yeah, they're really struggling. But first, guys, before we get into more, we're going to go ahead and hear from Alex. He's here with us now. He's going to be doing a Vulcan segment. So, you know, don't look away. It's going to be great. Thanks, Alex.
Hey guys, it is that time once again. It's time for my Vulcan picks for tonight's games. I'm Alex Machine Richardson, and I'm wearing another unnecessarily jazzy shirt. This isn't recorded live, so no matter what awful jokes Semler pretended to do to hand off to this, let's just pretend it didn't happen. And now, time to see what I want to bring into this one. There's a whole lot of Dignitas tonight. I think we're seeing them, I think, is it 3 times, if not twice? Yeah, it is going to be 3. So we want to try and grab some high-performing Dignitas players. Unfortunately, AZ is incredibly taxing, so maybe I'll just treat myself. Let's start at the highest, and then we'll be able to work it a bit further down. Let's see if I can find a second one as well. I wouldn't mind if I can find him. Okay. 39 for Kirby. That's all right. Fnatic playing 1 game today, and I'd be foolish not to pick up some Fnatic members. Flusher, 45 points. I'm pretty sure there's probably Krez Crims, because he's always a good deal. Yeah, look at this. 43 points, and he's right down at the bottom. How many games are NaVi playing today? They're playing just the 1, I think, up against Dig. I don't know how they're going to fare, considering that we did just see those guys play not too long ago over on Inferno. Different map this time, though. So let's grab another Fnatic, man. Let's go for Olaf Meister. I mean, he's not even ranked as... AZ's currently a little more pricey than him, so I'm down with that. Flamey, grab him from NaVi. He's always a bit of a mad fragger. Got 2,400. So let's have a look further down. VP. I could go for a VP. I'm not going to go for SK because they currently haven't picked up 1 win in the league. I think it'd be foolish to think that's going to happen now. I haven't got a Hellraiser's man, actually. Where's Oscar? Oscar's always... Look at that, 51. Here we go. Boom. And now 1,100. I can grab a VP boy. Who have we got? Can I get... yeah, let's go for Taz. Let's treat myself. That's the second time I've gone for Taz. So, yeah, 2 boys from Dignitas. 2 boys from... excuse me, 3 boys from Fnatic. Then I've got Flamey from Hellraisers and Oscar as well. And then Taz from VP. All right. I'm pretty happy with that one. That's actually not too shabby. A little bit cross all bases other than the SK boys. Because, of course, they have been really struggling to get off the starting line. In fact, they haven't got off the starting line yet. Maybe today will be a bit different. They are going up against Dignitas, so that could be a bad game for Dig, maybe, if the stars were aligned. But anyway, back to the picks. That's my roster. You guys can participate as well. I'm sure you're well aware. You can head over to vulcan.com and use our code in order to get yourself some benefits. You can use the code ESL Pro, all in caps, all together, and you'll get yourself, I think it is both your deposit and your Vulcan Gold matched. So that's really worth investigating. You can even click the link in the description and make it even easier. For now, though, it's time to bring you your CS once again with Anders and Semler. I won't take up any more of your time. Have fun.
All right, well, thanks, Alex. You know, we always love when you take up our time. It's all good. But, nice try at the start there. Come on, hug it out, bro. Hug it. No. Come on, Alex. Alex, don't do that. Alex, I
don't know why he would even pretend we weren't here. That's super rude. What's up with
what
him
a
lately?
Dick.
I don't understand. What have we done?
Guys, nothing, but something really happened with Alex. I don't know. He just decided. Okay, well... What do you think about his picks, Anders? Like, did he do all right? You think it was reasonable? Did you want to change anything?
I don't know. I could understand that the Dignitas players had a little bit more value on them than they're playing twice tonight, but I don't know. I feel like picking up Kiebu for that. I still think it might. I probably wouldn't have. I think I would have really left out Kiebu, and then I think I would have gone for either Pimp or AC, or maybe even both. And then
Jesus, he didn't go. I wasn't paying attention. He didn't go for either Pimp or AC.
No, he went for AC and then Kiebu. I think he left Pimp out.
Jesus, who wouldn't go for Pimp?
Well, they were both. They were like the 2 most expensive.
Like he's a really sick fragger for Dignitas.
I think they were like the 2 most expensive. So I could understand why he wanted to pick one or the other. I just feel like. Maybe I would think twice about that.
I mean, they're going to have a rough game here, but if anybody's going to do the work, it's going to be Pimp AC. And then and Schneider, obviously. I mean, if you can get Schneider as well, that's always a safe pick on Dignitas.
Yeah, I feel like I might have actually picked Schneider over Kiebu at this point. Just feels like maybe, at least lately, he's been slightly more consistent.
All right,
we'll see.
Well.
We'll see. I'm all right with it otherwise. I think he had some good reasoning there. Fnatic only playing the 1 game and, still...
Well, I mean, hopefully he comes back later. I mean, we'll see him. He'll be around in the office. So
get himself together.
Yeah, just give a moment. So, but as far as the first match is concerned, we just talked about who we expect to do well for Dignitas. Who do you think is going to stand out for NaVi tonight?
Well, you're just waiting for me to say Guardian, right?
Yeah, come on, man.
No, I mean, I actually... No, not necessarily. I feel like Guardian is like in like a weird spot right now. I'm not seeing like that many games from him where I'm like, whoa, he's hitting really good shots every once in a while, but he isn't taking over games in the same way. But I don't think it's like necessarily a bad sign. I just think the whole NaVi team is becoming like more of a unit. So in a similar way as to Kenny not needing to be a superstar on Envy, I don't think Guardian needs to be a superstar on NaVi anymore. I feel like it's they've got like a broad mix now. So he doesn't need the same thing. So yeah, I would always look for Guardian because I love playing, and like that used to be my thing back in like in my team in 1.6. That was what I did. So I always have like a special thing for those. Yeah. I can't stop doing it. So but I mean I actually think like Edward and some of the other people on that team are still like Zeus has some really good rounds. So
to me, you've pretty much like outlined the 2 teams that have had to like really readjust their strategies because of how important their operas are. And Envy in particular, right? Before, it wasn't too much of a problem. It's like if they had mountains of cash, somebody gets an op, not a problem. But their main strategy was always force, no matter how much money we have, force. And so that was something that Happy, I think, had to come to terms with when Kenny was brought onto the team. I feel like it's still something that Zeus or Starix, whoever's calling for the team right now, it seems like it's like one or the other.
I saw
whoever's calling over there, they need to make that adjustment. They need to take that into account and say, okay, Guardian, you are pretty sick with an AK, but when you have the biggest impact is when you have that op. Maybe we should stop forcing in the early game all the time and risking our economy.
Especially if they need to find a way back into the game. You know, like having Guardian with 1 big round where he lands a triple, then you're back into it. But sometimes you're right, they do buy so much that they can't even do that. So that
It's like
becomes
the
a problem.
10th round before you see Guardian actually pick up an op, and I'm just sitting here frustrated. But,
And in the server, we have everybody from NaVi. Good job on them, like a change from the olden days. And nobody from Dignitas. What are my countrymen doing? What kind of, image are we broadcasting to the rest of the world? Danish people can't even be bothered to show up on time. No, but seriously, the other thing here is we're going to be playing Overpass, which is a map that NaVi are pretty good at. I think Dignitas are going to be in a slightly worse position on Overpass. And who have they got realistically that can stand up to Guardian?
Pimp?
Yeah, he could
I mean,
try.
he's got to be the guy who will be the one to stand out, right? He has to be that person. Because he's going to be the primary opper. I mean, Schneider picks up the op as well for Dignitas, but he's not like he used to, or he tried to rather, when he was out in the wild of like, the mixed teams after getting removed from Fnatic, the original Fnatic roster that won the DreamHack Major. He had a moment where he was trying to op, and it seems like he's still willing to go to it, right? He's still willing to do some opping plays, but yeah, I feel like rather than focus on the op to counter out Guardian, I think it is going to have to come down to the rifles, to Schneider, Pimp, AC. Like, give them rifles and let them just kind of rely on the team play to remove Guardian and not try to take straight up fights with him. Do you think that's even possible, though? Or Guardian is just going to hunt their asses down and there's no hiding on this map? It's a big map, but, no hiding here.
I think the problem is that some of the positions that Guardian used to occupy with the AWP is over at that whole long area. So question is, if you try and let him have control of that and go somewhere else, you actually lose so much control of the map. It'll be somewhat difficult to execute too much. And first of all, the A bomb site's going to be hard to execute on, but if you don't go A, then you go B, and B is so easy to spot people from because you make those jumps over the wall. There are a lot of different ways to spot if someone's doing something in B. So I feel like you have to have at least a method to get rid of Guardian in these positions. I will say this though, Guardian has actually been playing very, very predictably for a long time. It seems like he has like 2 positions that he really enjoys occupying, and not much else. So I would say he is very counterable in those positions. Haven't really seen too many people do it, but I reckon it's just a matter of time really before someone starts to figure it out. So
I mean, as far as the maps are concerned, there's some context to be had as well. From what I'm looking at here, there's the last time that these guys actually played on Overpass was at the beginning of September, and Dignitas got crushed by NaVi 16-6. Yeah. So that's something to point out. There's a little, at least like semi-recent history between these two teams on this map. But in this league, Dignitas beat NaVi on Inferno in overtime. So as far as this league plays out, everybody, all the teams play each other twice. So as far as it stands, Dignitas, they're up 1-0 versus NaVi right now. If NaVi were to lose a second time to Dignitas, it's like the world's going to burn. Zeus is just going to unleash the Titans, and it's all going to go to hell, Anders.
But I mean, that could be what makes the difference between NaVi making it into the final and not doing it. Dignitas could be the team to edge them out in that sense, because they are, as we saw earlier, right on top of each other in the bracket here. So I don't know. I feel like on Inferno, NaVi is actually a really strong and a really fun team to watch, but they're also a team that's lacking some of the fundamentals. And weirdly, they tend to do pretty well on it, regardless of that stuff. But I think Overpass is going to be different. I think this map definitely favors NaVi. And I'm wondering what exactly Dignitas is going to do to change things. Like, I'm trying to think about what they could do to shut down Guardian. The economy is obviously going to be really important. Once Guardian is on that CT side, if they can deny him even getting the AWP, then that's the first step. Once they're on the terrorist side, Guardian probably still going to have the AWP, and then a lot of really weird stuff happens, because the problem is, if you're defensive on the CT side on this particular map, if you don't want Guardian to get many free and open shots, then that will allow for execute, which is exactly what NaVi want. They want to go slow. They want to try and see if they can edge their way into position. And if you never challenge them, if you never get them to waste any time or any grenades to check anything, because you're so defensive, you're worried about Guardian's AWP, you're sort of playing into the way that NaVi want to play.
That's true.
So you have to find a way to deal with it.
You have to be able to go aggressive. You're right, and that's all going to come down to how comfortable now this new roster is. Dignitas, since they've added Schneider, and we saw a role swap. I guess the map that we're most familiar, or where it was like glaringly obvious, was Mirage, where they just really restructured their CT side, giving different positions to players who, Pimp in particular, moving from the B site where he was just dominating, moving him into mid. So I mean, Overpass is going to be one of those situations as well, where it's like, it's not the most played map. It is. We're seeing a lot of it these days, but it's not the most played map. So how high up on it, on the the focus was it for Dignitas to really, get in here and start banging out rounds and figuring out, okay, where does everybody want to play now that we have Schneider in the mix?
I think if you had to try and track Dignitas' progression as a team, I think they've gone through the stage where it wasn't really obvious what the core of the lineup was. Also because there were rumors every once in a while that, AC was maybe going to join TSM instead and try and play someone there. So, there's that insecurity there. They seem to have pushed past that. They have a very clearly definable core lineup here. I really love Schneider as the addition. I hope they'll stay with him. I don't see why they wouldn't. Actually, I think the question is sort of obvious. Is actually the opposite: is can they keep Schneider there, or will he be picked up by some Swedish super team at some point instead? I think that's the other side of the coin, really, when it comes to Schneider. But so once you get your stable lineup, you get your core going and all that's working. One of the challenges that you're going to be facing further on is trying to widen the map pool that you have. And Dignitas, I don't think they're making progress. But it's really, really hard. They have a couple of home maps that they play really well, that they're good on. They definitely are a good team on a map like Inferno, for instance. But now, how do they widen the pool? Because in a best of 3 type scenario or best of 1 type scenario, where you start banning out maps and picking maps, you need to be able to win against some of the top teams already in the drafting stage and get some good maps in for yourself. And that's, I think, a problem. That's a challenge for a team like Dignitas.
Yeah, this isn't one of their best ones. I mean, it's actually fun to go back and check out their map history because Inferno is actually ranked as their best map right now.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
So small, I suppose, is their best chance to be able to beat NaVi in a best-of-1 situation, and it went to overtime. Overpass, not nearly as strong a map for Dignitas. Kind of floating around towards the bottom, actually, for them. So odds are definitely going to be in NaVi's favor, I think. They're going to be the favored team regardless of map. But it's not going to get any easier here for Dignitas. So unless Pimp and AZ can just go ham like they used to do and just kind of dominate these bomb sites, and maybe they actually succeed in shutting out players like Flamey, who are going to be key for NaVi. Yeah, we're probably going to be seeing that NaVi win here. They should be able to get that chokehold going. Flamey in particular is somebody I think that we have to, we're talking a lot about Guardian, but every time it's Overpass, it always seems like Flamey has his moments where he just gets these triple kills and just completely opens up the situation for NaVi.
Am I seeing Tensky join? Does that mean there's someone not playing for Dignitas tonight?
Oh, that is Tensky, isn't it?
Yeah. That could be a really big thing. I think you're right, though. I think between Pimp and AC, if they both hit their A game, they probably have enough raw power to shut down NaVi so much early on that they kind of take over the game. That's definitely not I think a bad way for Dignitas to win this game. That they are, I mean, especially AZ, but I feel like Pimp has also shown themselves to be just a very, very consistent player and someone who can hit a high level. So between the two of them, it might not even be enough to have Guardian, go super ham on this game.
The scary thing, Anders, is that we're missing one of the two. Who's going to be the guy who gets left out here? Is it going to be Schneider or is it going to be Pimp?
Yeah.
If it's Schneider, it's not the end of the world, I suppose, because still Dignitas can speak Danish.
I think it is. I think it is going to be Schneider. They just uploaded the lineup on hltv.org. So, yeah, Pimp, AC, MSL, Tensky, and Kirby is what it says now. So Schneider being left out, I think that is still a downgrade. If nothing else, just because, a practice and all that. But if they haven't practiced Overpass too much anyway, maybe it won't have that big of an impact. And you're absolutely right, Tensky is someone that they're all used to playing with anyway. And someone who's actually a pretty capable player. So
yeah, he's been around in several teams now, or several iterations of teams. Because SK is the one that we kind of remember as the most recent one.
Yeah, so I would say anytime you get someone who's not in your core lineup to stand in, is always a downgrade, almost no matter who that person is. I think we've talked this to death a couple of times before, but you have to pick up a super strong player for that to work out.
It's just, it's that player who's just going to be individually dominant.
Yeah, the one case I think that I could come up with a way that it would make sense is when whenever Nico would stand in somewhere, be all right, if Nico's standing in somewhere, then that makes sense. From
a long time ago when he was.
No, I meant Mouse Sports Nico, not the other
Mouse
Nico.
Sports Nico.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Danish Nico. It feels like it's been ages since we've seen.
Yeah.
Since we've seen him appear in a godlike form.
Lack of motivation, more work is needed on that front, without a doubt.
And he's the one who, Schneider replaced him on Dignitas, so it's just something, in case you're unfamiliar with the recent history of these teams, or at least of Dignitas. Nico, who was the AWPer, and who was a threat back in the day, even to Nip, who was definitely one of the more, one of the operas with the most potential coming out of Denmark. He's been replaced by Schneider on this roster. So, yeah, due to various reasons, it seems. Hasn't really made any noise since either. We haven't really seen him, like, I mean, there was maybe an option for him to go to SK or something along those lines, but it doesn't seem like that was the case at all. Seems like he's just been kind of phased out.
Yeah, I mean, so much right now seems to be defined by the willingness of people to actually commit 100% to the game, or to have like other projects in their lives. And I feel like it's hard to judge people too much, for doing one or the other. I mean, like it's, you gotta like have the full sum of someone's life to figure out whether or not it makes sense for them to go all in. But I feel like the people who go all in on this game have like statistically a better chance of really doing it. So I guess we'll see if Nico is going to be back at some point. I still think he's got it, but he's going to have to practice it and keep it up to date.
You're always the hopeful one, though, Anders.
Yeah. Now, I just don't think people lose skill. I don't think it's possible to be very good and then suddenly, like, I can't figure out how to play anymore. But I think it's perfectly possible of lacking motivation and not practicing, and then, then it doesn't really matter how talented you are. Well, we're going to have the 9th round underway here. Dignitas and NaVi are now going to be playing best of 1 game here for the ESL ESEA Pro League, and we're on Overpass as well, but Dignitas probably going to stay on the CT side, you have to imagine. We'll see. Pistol round. They are playing up against Edward, who has a reputation with this pistol. So we'll see actually if they're going to be kitting Edward out with just a Glock or if it's going to be something more adventurous.
They give him that Tech 9. We've seen it in the past. Turn him
He's
into
got
the raid
armor,
boss.
and he's dropped the...
It seems like it's been phased out. But C's spent... Yeah, there it is. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
C's dropped $700 this round, so he definitely went for it. And Edward will be getting that Tech 9 Kevlar.
So a bit of, I would say, a sort of, again, an admission from NaVi's point of view as well, that Edward really is a strong player with pistols, so you gotta kind of respect that. Dignitas know it as well. We'll see if they can find a way to stand up to it. They do have the USP, so, one shot to the face of Edward, and he's going to be gone and out of the round. And the armor and Tech 9 investment, well, Tech 9 can be picked up, but armor can't loot the armor of your teammates' corpses.
No, that's true. And already, C is hanging back in T-spawn, was able to figure out that there was a bit of a stack from Dignitas towards the B site. NaVi tried to push up long to take advantage of this, but Dignitas very quick. Seems like, okay, they were there for the anti-rush. As soon as there wasn't a rush, boom, they rotate 3 guys back up to the A site and make sure that the defense is solid here, just in case NaVi decided to try and go for some kind of aggression. So now it's coming down to the rotation. Once again, NaVi, they're going to be heading over towards that B site, seems.
Yeah, they got spotted by Tensky, and since he didn't give them a target, they felt like, well, if we go now, it's going to be maybe a little bit too obvious. So, yeah, change of pace. They are making a lot of noise on the other side here, actually way more than I would like them to. It must be obvious by now to Dignitas that there's a lot of people here. They're already rotating 1 guy back from connector. Pimp is moving up here, and all of this, I think, is a result of the audio information they just got from NaVi. So a little bit sloppy play, I would say, from the terrorist side. See if it's going to work out anyway here. Edward, low on health, and he's going to get shot in the face by AC. Zeus with the refrag, though, and MSL to go down. It's 4 versus 4. Bombs going down as well, and Pimp landing 2 headshots. AC going to be gone. Pimp turning around. Triple kill there, and now it's all on Guardian. 1 versus 3 goes down to Kirby. What a great timing from Pimp there. Triple kill, all headshots, and Dignitas are going to win the round. And he's able to do that because he was already rotating in because they made that much noise. I had no idea what NaVi would do that.
Maybe they felt like they were running out of time, that they needed more time to be checking angles, etc. They weren't too confident. I mean, they had all the nades for an execute as well. They put the Molotov, instead of putting it in Toxic, they put it into CT. So making sure that, they can run up short, or at least one of those angles is not going to be occupied. So, I mean, there was some thought behind it, but yeah, NaVi, just unfortunate. But this is good. Now, I mean, we need to see, whoa, Dignitas. Well, Pimp. He just goes straight for the AWP.
Okay. So saying, we know you're probably going to be buying Deagles. Actually, they couldn't maybe have guessed that it was going to be an AK buy coming out of Zeus here as well. I kind of like this. All these Deagles probably going to shield the fact that there's also an AK in the mix. They're just going to think, oh, well, they just bought some Deagles, whatever.
Well, this speaks to the confidence right now. That kind of start must have been huge for Pimp. Now Pimp has to be very careful that we've lost Tensky to Guardian. The Deagle at long works out, but MSL and AC over in B site, well, 1 into connector, 1 into sewer. 2 kills for them. They slow down NaVi, and now AC, he's right on the edge of getting overwhelmed here in connector if he shows himself again. Edward right on top of him. He will spot Edward, but he runs out of bullets, tries to swap back to the Deagle, and it's not going to be fast enough.
Pimp jumping back here, pretty wishing he had a scout instead. If he could spot out Edward, that would be, or Guardian up there. Gonna go for a bit of a peek down. Goes up against Guardian, misses the shot. Is he gonna try and recommit? This could be where the round is decided. Pimp has to be very careful. Missing 1 more kill there, and I don't know. There's not room for maybe a strike 3 here. He's going to have to hit these shots.
Yeah, this is the issue. He has striked out Anders because he missed that shot in mid earlier too. Just saying. Pimp under the bus with you.
Mighty Casey struck out.
It's frustrating to watch Pimp sometimes with the op. Sometimes he just hits these shots and you're like, yes, solid. But the shots that should be consistent, that he should be picking up, no problem, he always seems to struggle with, and that's going to open it up. Guardian, you can't show weakness to Guardian. He steps onto the A site, he takes out Kirby, and now it's a 2-on-3.
He's close as well. He's seen Pimp's face, and it's going to be the spray through, and Guardian picking up now. 3rd kill here for his streak. 5 seconds left. The bomb is on the site and getting downed, and MSL going to be the last man left here. He was down trying to hold on to B. He's going to get shut down. Quad kill from Guardian, and he steals the AWP. A complete smack in the face of Dignitas here, and a great way to come back in. And I mean, AC, he was on the stairwell, and you were right. He was about to be overwhelmed, and you can even see he was sort of thinking about it every once in a while, like, should I go aggressive or not? And Edward just body shot him twice, and that was it. And as soon as he goes down, it's really important at that point for Dignitas to stay in the round, and I don't know, they just weren't able to.
No, him alone, no possibility for a refrag, just kind of out in the middle of nowhere. Kirby also caught cold, and that's the worst thing, is we're discussing NaVi's tendency to kind of stifle their economy and not let Guardian get up to that AWP quickly in the round. Now he's literally been gifted one. He has one in the 3rd round for free. So this is worst case scenario now for Dignitas. And actually Dignitas not going for the force buy in this round, instead just sticking with the pistols. But yeah, MSL headshot on C's to start things off. Very similar strategy right now from what we saw from NaVi in the pistol round actually. C's lurking over in T-spawn, and then the rest of NaVi moving their way up long.
But this time they haven't been spotted. Tensky was spotting them last time. This time they get a lot closer, and no one from Dignitas is quite aware yet. Now they're going to realize that MSL going down. Kirby next in line. Pimp trying to line them up. He's got a P250. A bad pistol at all. He's going to take down Edward. Still no bomb plant. And a 3 versus 2 now. Su's finally getting a little bit back here, but he's got to be careful. AC's got the AK, and he's preemptively trying to get that shot through. See if they can win this clutch.
Comes out to working together here, but yeah, Guardian not going to let it happen. Guardian does turn it into the 1v1 in the end. Tensky's going to go ahead and pick up the AK. Dropped by AC, but now Guardian heard that. He knows that this man is playing from CT slope. Guardian's even swapped out for the AK, and he gets the headshot. Just strafe shot as he tries to make his way onto the site. Guardian drops him, swaps back out to the AWP. Still, very good eco round coming in for Dignitas. They did a lot of damage to NaVi.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, a bit of a shame that they couldn't pick it up there. And they, for just a brief second, they had a 2 versus 1 against Guardian, but that Deagle headshot there, a little bit too scary. So NaVi still maintain control, and Dignitas buying a little bit the pistols here. You know, they're trying to give themselves a chance in case the opportunity presents itself, but they're not going to fully commit to it.
He says this is like old school NaVi. Guardian scoped up, the rest of them walking in behind him. And now, well, this is going to be, yeah, end of the party. Edward, 2 kills to open up that B site. Tensky's working his way through for a backstab, perhaps through T-spawn, but it's going to be so slow, it's not really going to be too effective. Seized is already watching for just this. So, at this point, Dignitas are going to try and like navigate their way into positions that will allow them to get exit kills, that will, you know, maybe they can get a gun and try and save it. No hope at all for them to win this round. And that was very, like, fearless from NaVi. They just walked straight into Monster with Guardian scoped up, just holding that angle in case somebody peeked from Dignitas.
Yeah, I like it as well. I mean, so many teams, when they think they're playing up against an eco and they're on the terror side, then they're going to be going long instead. That's just that's the default when you're up against just a pistol and no armor. Seized, picking up what he can here, and Suit's also helping out. So, yeah, pretty good job overall here for NaVi. Losing 2 players, but still managed to kill a couple of Dignitas members here. Now we'll see if the Danes can actually turn it around. They've got the AWP on Pimp, and that's about it. 3-1. And NaVi, yeah, changing the tables early on in this game.
But Pimp, this is the reason why they went for that double eco. Now he's got his AWP again. And it does seem like the go-to strategy here for Dignitas is going to be counting on Pimp to get the job done when he faces up against Guardian. NaVi not really going for any kind of mid-control, and Dignitas going for the aggro mid-play. They want to get straight up. They're not going to spot anybody, though. Instead, they're just lurking, waiting for somebody to peek out at Monster again, and Guardian doesn't miss the shot.
Yeah, hiding behind that barrel out there, and Pimp probably had a second or something to take a shot, but he just had no idea where to look. Kirby going to win the fight against Edward. A very important refrag here. Going to give Dignitas a chance to get back in. And again, we have to reiterate how important this game is. Both these teams are in, what, 5th and 6th place in the group, I think? Or 4th and 5th, actually, in the group.
They're in dire need of wins. They're right on the edge. If they get, like, one more loss for either of these could basically mean they're not going to the LAN. So for NaVi in particular, I think NaVi already have 6 losses to their name. No, that's Dignitas rather. But
yeah, I think it goes TSM, Fnatic, NV, and then Dignitas, NaVi. Yeah. So like it's very scary here, and especially between the two teams, obviously fighting for every point. They gotta find a way to come back in here. And Dignitas, otherwise, who knows? That they had such a good start to this tournament, but slowly the losses are catching up with them.
Mm-hmm. Forward position here from AZ at top mid, looking towards restroom. There's a man working his way up long again. It sees this time he's changed it up, but that smoke going down kind of lets him get a little bit closer. It's definitely going to be keeping him guessing, and MSL peeks for info. He tries to figure out, is there going to be anybody pushing in here from NaVi towards Monster? And Guardian's waiting for him again. Kirby unable to get them to line up properly. He will not get the double spray down, and Zeus will take out AZ. With 10 seconds left, in like true NaVi fashion, they will get the bomb plant.
Yeah, imagine if Tensky could have hit that shot and somehow survived on Flamey, then, the time would have just run out. Now, Tensky is kind of trapped, and he did hit a headshot on Guardian. He's aware that Seized might be coming up from behind here. Team Flash, maybe. Seized. Not going to be getting the kill. Flamey instead for a double of his own, and now he's going to win that round. So, AC's forward position up there on the A-bomb side is really cool. It's a really good job because that smoke that goes in, he can already see that no one is following it up. He's not, if he's all the way back by Optimus, by the truck up there, then, the smoke goes down and he has to stand and wait for a long time and see if anything's happening. But because he's so far up by the restrooms, he can see it, which is also why that information peaked down there. I'm sort of wondering if it was
necessary.
Yeah, was it necessary? Or maybe was he hoping to catch somebody off guard or something? Because otherwise, they probably should have known that nothing was coming up at A.
Well, again, very similar strategies here from NaVi. This is almost looking, or it seems to be like their default, it seems. I mean, because Zeus, or rather, C's just sitting outside of B. Now he's in sewer, so he has changed that up somewhat, but they just keep swarming throughout the rest of the map. 3 players through long again for NaVi, 1 sitting in mid. And they're just going to walk their way out onto the site. Pimp has something to say about that. Gets the double dink onto Edward, so good kill there, but he won't be able to get more, and Kirby neither. So only 1 player getting dropped for NaVi. But this is starting to get into the danger zone for Team Dignitas. I mean, NaVi sitting on 5 rounds. Good money so far. This is just enough for NaVi really to be considering that they've done a good job in this first half on their T side.
Yeah, absolutely getting a bit scary there. And NaVi once again showing that once you're up against pistols, no armor, you might as well just go long. It's such a common thing, and it is kind of hard to deal with. There's been a couple of teams lately. I think Penta was one of them that showed us a way to sort of stack up a bunch of people over there with grenades as well, so they would have like pop flash and 3 people peeking. I wish more teams would adopt that. It is like, I would say there's like a 80% chance that someone's going to be going long once you're ecoing, and if they know, when NaVi would have known that Dignitas was going to be ecoing that last round, so you might as well try and make a plan for it.
Go for something clever. I mean,
yeah.
Right now we're just really looking at Pimp. Like, Guardian has certainly woken up in this match, but Pimp, he's yet to really have that big impact that Dignitas need from him as their opper. Guardian landing the shot onto Tensky, and it looks like that went through the wall, but then dunk nade. Tensky with the combo play. Shot to the body, and then HC to finish it off.
Very good job indeed. That's going to be a really big opening. AZ up here with the smoke. Got to be just a little bit careful walking out. Zeus is down there, and he's actually picked up the fallen AWP, and he gets a blind shot through. That's incredible. AZ going to be gone and probably a little bit upset, but they've got some sort of boost back here. Pimp trying to look over. Oh, and gets caught with a grenade in hand, but he manages to live. 27 seconds now. They got to be really careful now here that they don't run out of time.
Yeah, this is actually starting to run a bit low. Nades going on to the site. Tensky doing the best that he can to stay alive. He's only got 16 HP, but it's a 1-for-1 trade. And with 17 seconds left, they're trying to wrap back through, connected towards the B site, and Seized was the reason he managed to get onto the site, clear it out, but then Pimp is there to take him out. And with 8 seconds left, it's all down to Edward. Can he actually make it in? Of course not. Smoke was just a little bit short. He wasn't able to get onto the bomb site safely. So there we go. Dignitas, everybody getting a piece of the action that time. 2 for Pimp, 2 for Tensky.
Wow, that's just leaving so little time again. I mean, we see that it backfires every once in a while for NaVi, but it's always a little bit interesting when it actually does ultimately fail for them, and this time it just wasn't going to be possible. I mean, even if Cease hadn't gone down in that B bomb site initially, still would have been kind of hard for everybody to get in and get the bomb down. So 5-2, 8th round coming up, and finally a little bit of luck to Dignitas here, but money's still there for NaVi. They will have bought again. See what they can work with here.
Kirby really That seems to be his default spot right there. That's going to get red. Already he takes some nade damage. They're starting to figure out that he likes to go for a bit of a Zipnix jump behind the angle there, behind the wood, to peek into sewers. Do they have a pop flash? Yes, again, they do. But this time Seized isn't caught off guard by it. And so no real info gained apart from the fact that, you know, Dignitas are thinking, well, nobody's here. They don't actually get anything out of it, so still a little bit tricky here for Dignitas. They have rotated an extra man up onto the A site based off that info, so we'll see if it comes back to bite them in the rear.
Guardian for a moment boosted up here. Can't really see Pimp just from the position that he's in now. Pimp, on the other hand, is in a very exposed position. In case Edward was to peek out, that could be a little bit tricky for Pimp right now. But if you look at the clock, the bomb is now just making its way out onto the middle of the map, and it's about 35 seconds. Guardian to open up on one, and Tensky going to go down. A lot here riding on Pimp. He's going to miss the first shot. Edward's down there, and he just takes him out, shooting to the side of the wall then, and Kirby and MSL have got nothing left to do.
They're wrecked at this point, Dignitas. That was a key round, Anders. They needed to win a consecutive round to stabilize their money. Now Dignitas, they're going to be reset. And Na'Vi, no reason for them not to be out and hunting. And we're seeing just that. Get those guns off of Dignitas. Don't let them save them, because they'll be right back to pistols or some kind of weird quasi-buy. So this is a good opportunity here for Dignitas. Actually, considering I think they had, what, like 3 to 4 players? They had 3 to 4 players there. I mean, maybe we can get some kind of like forced rifle buy out of Dignitas, but neither of them saving makes that really difficult for them. Yeah,
you're absolutely right. I mean, a couple of saved rifles there would have done a lot of good. Dignitas, I mean, maybe Pimp could have forced something up, and they the saved 2 rifles. They're gonna go for it anyway, it seems. Actually, just Pimp, is he just evening out the money? Yeah, just a little bit. All right, so not any kind of a full buy. But I don't know. I think you're right. That was the deciding difference. Things are getting really tricky now. 9 rounds in, and NaVi already with a full round lead and looking to just extend it. They've just won some really critical rounds right when Dignitas were trying to build an economy, and that's kept the Danish team in a bit of a slump here.
Well, Flamey and MSL, they managed to trade up. At least MSL getting something done with that CZ. And NaVi, I mean, they changed it up rather than going for that standard long play. Heading over to B, that's definitely cost them a little bit. They did get some damage in, but they lost a player. Still in control of the situation, though. And had Edward been able to pick off AZ, that would have been pretty much NaVi free to do whatever they wanted.
Yeah, and a good sign for NaVi that they are sort of realizing that maybe that long push is getting a little bit too predictable. So eventually they are going to sort of regroup up and see if they can find a way to push it. Now that they hit the scout from Pimp, you got to wonder if they're going to be changing their minds, because that jump scout all the way from behind the SWAT truck there is a powerful tool.
It's just that Guardian is one of those flick artists that I would say, you know, you don't actually want to jump against. Yeah, he's fast enough to pick you off if he spots you. He will. We've seen him do it in the past where he just reacts so quickly. And, well, NaVi, it seems like the decision for them, go onto the B site, and Pimp is one step ahead. He's got that scout here, holding the cross from CT. So we'll see if he can actually make his way out onto short. Zeus gets his attention drawn, and there we go. MSL steps out, picks up 1 kill, taking advantage of the smoke as well, but Guardian hunts him. Nice shot from Pimp, though, taking out Edward. But the bomb is going to get planted with 10 seconds left. And now it's advantage seized to Guardian. They have the gear.
They definitely do. AC going to try and see if he can make his way in as well. He's right next to Pimp, going to be running through the fire as well, but making some noise in the meantime. They're getting close. Guardian missing the shot. One's going to go down. C's going to go down. AC takes both with a little help from Pimp. They're going to have enough time for the defuse as well. Good job on Dignitas. A big round coming in here. I mean, if there's any way to get back, it has to start with something like this. And I almost wish we could have like a post-match interview. I want to know if Pimp fired that scout in a bomb site with the intention of saying, you know, I'll fire it and I'll run back to B. Pretend I'm here and then go back. Because that would have been a really good thought. Maybe we tweet at Pimp and ask him afterwards.
The mind games. But can we trust him, Anders?
Yeah.
Because he could just say, you know, yeah, that's totally what I meant to do.
That was the 9th round. You know, I'll ask Pimp. I'll send him a message on Twitter and be like, we need to know. Ooh. Don't lie or I'm going to know it.
I'm going to know it. I will know. And Flamey, I mean, look at this. Flamey and Guardian both going for the AWP this round. So where the hell did Flamey go?
I mean, the thing is, if you buy a scout in a round like that, the last thing you want to do is broadcast that you have it and where you are. That's the only weapon that's going to probably like get you back in things, or that could get you back. So for you to be just madly shooting in the A-bomb side is not like a very smart thing to do. Unless, you know, you've got like...
Unless it's intentional.
More devious like that. I mean, it isn't really like, you know, the next level type strat, but it's like a cool little detail if that's how it worked out.
Oh, is it like halfway up the staircase to the next level?
Yeah, exactly. You know, just trying a little bit, you know. Could come up with better things, I'm sure, in the future. Double up, though. Flamey picking up one. A little bit intrigued that it isn't Guardian and Edward.
Yeah, that's exactly. That's what I was wondering about. But Flamey took it down into connector, so I'm wondering if it wasn't just off of spawn. He's like, okay, I'm just going to go ahead and take this peek. We haven't really seen too much action there for Dignitas, though. They really aren't willing to push up into connector, commit a man there. Instead, they're much more interested in just hanging out here right outside a restroom. This is where they can set it up, and Guardian once again catching AC, try to get into that corner outside of long, so that's not going to work for Dignitas at all. Man advantage now for NaVi, and Flamey, he's right here on the edge, and he misses the shot. How does Tensky actually get out of that in one piece?
I'm not sure we will find it anytime soon there. Pimp going to be going down, and it looks like they could have almost caught Zeus, and actually C's going to be walking up right behind. Just a little bit of a hiccup on the Go TV there. MSL to go down, and Tensky, last man left, 1 versus 4. So yes, he lived, but at what cost?
At what cost? Well, he did not live. You cursed him, Anders.
So sorry, Tensky.
And this is also something that could be interesting, where usually where Guardian is where NaVi are going to push, right? Because they count on him to create openings for them to actually push onto side, to pick off one guy, and then the rest of NaVi come rushing in. This time, NaVi actually left Guardian on his own. So maybe that kind of threw Dignitas for a loop for a moment, where they're like, well, Guardian is here, but where are the rest of them? Might have been a possibility. Come up. And you're actually asking Pimp right now. Okay, I see.
Yeah. You know, someone has to find out. Someone has to do the hard work here.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, messaging people on Skype's not that hard, but still. Guardian is now down to 16 health there. A little bit of damage being put out by MSL. Pimp with his UMP. This time it's, you know, not a scout, so maybe even more difficult to find a kill this time around. 7-3, yo. I mean, Dignitas are finding no luck at all in this game.
No, they're just getting slammed. And this is, you know, just to be perfectly crystal for everybody, this is a CT-sided map still. So NaVi getting 7 rounds on their T side already, and just making sure that Dignitas never have the money to really work with here. This is so big for them. Pimp might be able to catch a man off guard here, though. Does Zeus turn around? Yeah, throws that smoke, watches the stairs, and no joy for Pimp. No bonus money with that UMP.
I mean, we did introduce the fact as well that NaVi are a lot better team on this map than Dignitas are. This is one of the maps Dignitas are not that into, but it's still progressing in a pretty brutal fashion. You know, I was hoping that they would try and go into this having AC and Pimp, who are top fracking of the team, but have them like swinging way bigger than this. Like really try and take some super aggressive aim fights with NaVi early on and say, you know, let's play that game. Because right now they are playing very defensively, and NaVi, as you can tell, they're quite happy with waiting until there's 25 seconds left, setting up, and then executing. And they have all the executes on the T side to make that work. So Dignitas are playing a lot right now into the way that NaVi want to play anyway.
It's kind of why we're saying, you know, this is old NaVi. Because that was their calling card. They'd wait until 15 seconds. Like any other team, you'd be like, it's done. They're not going to have time to make the plant. And only NaVi, it seemed at the time, could be the team to actually go in and actually get the job done. But let's see. MSL, yeah, gathered up. Tensky to find the kill there on Zeus. A little unfortunate for Zeus. NaVi might be, they should be worried at least a little bit about peeking individually now. They kind of want to consolidate, gather up, so that they don't just keep donating rifles to these to this ecoing Dignitas. And yeah, obviously they want to try and rotate in, and it's actually just going to be like the Russian AK now. One guy dies, there's another guy to pick it up.
Yep. That definitely used to be a thing, but kind of hard to make work in this game, especially because people are so aware of the whole idea of controlling the rifles. But right now, AZ still has it. Pip holding here with a deagle. He's hoping for that quick 1D. Instead, it's going to be AZ left alone. No armor, and a bullet in his head is going to mean no luck at all to him. 9-3. Man, this is turning into a brutal game.
Yeah, NaVi are looking very good indeed, no doubt about it. Whereas Dignitas, again, Pimp has money for the AWP, but Pimp currently top ranking with 8 kills for Dignitas. That's not quite cutting it when Guardian is doubling that scoreline. Considering the scoreline between the two teams, 9-3, yeah. NaVi, they're definitely coming out ahead here. Dignitas, though, let's see. AC is going to go challenge up long, so it does look like they want to put up a bit of a fight here, Dignitas, trying to change up the usual strats. And they had a man down in connector as well there to challenge. He's currently getting chased, though. Zeus hot on Pimp's heels, and Pimp just barely makes it out in time. But then he walks into a headshot. Great shot there by Zeus, shutting him down, and Guardian finds AC at long.
Yeah, we're gonna get one. They can't get the second kill there, and there would have been 2 people peeking him anyway, so if he'd stayed to take that fight, he was pretty much doomed no matter what. Tensky, pretty wondering if he should just stay and play around with the slide there instead of actually doing anything else. It might be a better choice. Find some crayons on the ground and, you know, add to the artwork a little bit.
Yeah, but he's the beast, Anders. He's on the hunt. Can't you see his Twitter, like his avatar there?
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, man. And this beast hunts alone, apparently. 2 kills. Could get a 3rd one here.
Yeah, NaVi don't even care. They're just like, fine, you know, if we have to give up all the rifles to try and find you, we'll definitely do that because we've got so much money. It doesn't really matter. Tensky actually doing a really good job of staying alive right up until the end. Flamey gonna be able to take him down. NaVi 10-3, moving into the very late stages of this first half.
Oh man, Flamey would have been pissed if the bug happened there. He wasn't able to swap out because he was clearly hitting his use key on the op, and sometimes you know how it just doesn't pick it up. And you want to throw something against the wall, not your monitor. That's expensive, but yeah, when that happens, you're like, I'm gonna save the op, and then you don't pick up the op. You're like, what? Not cool.
It's no fun at all. I love this early Molotov that comes out. I think NaVi were one of the first teams to start really doing that a lot, and they also have sometimes Cease spraying through the wall up there. So they've got some really cool tricks like that up their sleeves that they can employ to try and stop people from getting too much info on the CT side. I like all of it. Pimp he's like one of those bears that get, you know, locked in a really poor stew. He's just completely mad. He's gone crazy.
Now, well, peekaboo, and Zeus once again. Great start for him. Takes out MSL. Kyotobi playing from pit now. Trying to find an angle, trying to find somebody, and he's going to go for the spray down. He actually takes out Flamey, but then he steps into Guardian's crosshair. And well, now it's going to come down to Pimp, Tensky, and AC. The last 3 alive here for Dignitas in a 3-on-3 situation. And NaVi, they've got more than enough time, 50 seconds. They're not going to commit. They're changing it up and hoping to be able to actually catch somebody out of position on that A site.
3-on-3 right now. 35 seconds left. Tensky taking a fight with Edward and winning it. Jumping up there. I'm not sure if he spotted Cease. I think Cease just made it past here, so he might have a bit of an edge if he could find a kill quick on somebody. AC is thinking about it. I'm not going to check though. And yeah, Cease made it past unnoticed. Tensky, if he had seen him while jumping the first time, AC probably still be alive. Now it's 2 for 2 and 18 seconds left here. They're starting to get closer to the site. Cease trying to wrap around, and he hits a running headshot onto Tensky now. All on Pimp. Trying to see if he can make it in here. He fakes it once and baits out the shot. He's going to get the kill on Seized now. So it's a Guardian hiding back there, and Pimp, no grenades. And Guardian is running a long ways away. What is this? There's no kid on Pimp. He can't even capitalize on this.
Yeah, he can't even go for some kind of trick defuse. There's actually no time. And now Pimp seems to have realized perhaps, but it's not going to matter in the end. Guardian.
All right, so, you know, as much fun as it was with Pimp jumping around in CT spawn, this shows you something of the problem with Dignitas, and probably a result of the fact that they don't play the map so much. This map can't be played. It's been demonstrated, I think, pretty conclusively by now. You can't play this map by saying, well, we spawn in the bomb site, we'll just stay here. There's a lot of real estate in front of that bomb site, which is the whole restrooms area and the playground further up, the birthday party area. You need to use all of that to slow the terrorist team down and make them doubt whether or not they can just push up. NaVi's already a slow team. If you slow them down, they won't even plant the bomb down. But right now, Dignitas is saying, we'll just stay more or less back and you guys can have whatever part of the map you want. Like right now, this is almost the furthest up they've been playing with rifles, and then they're only just on the edge. Let's see how long they stay. One flashbang is in, and now they're back into CT spawn again. And NaVi, they get to already be in a position to set up for anything here.
Yeah.
They're putting so little pressure on them.
There was a team, Anders, that had that strat to play from CT spawn, and they nearly got lynched for it. So we're never going to speak of that again.
No.
Rest in peace, Fnatic. Olaf Boost.
That's the only time it was acceptable, actually. That was the only time that was a good idea to stay in CT spawn.
But never again. And you're right. I mean, there have only been like a couple rounds where they really pushed to top mid Dignitas and tried to challenge. I do think that they are worried about Guardian's op and where it is on the map, trying to figure it out.
Ask yourself the question now, what do Dignitas know right now about where NaVi are? Nobody's even jumping right now down in B to look into pool. They've spotted Guardian once out here. Tensky actually reeling his position, and he's going to go down to Guardian, who's going to be peeking AC in a very bad spot here. Very checkable position. Guardian, he's going to get the kill anyway, though. AC's going to be alone as the B-bomb site gets overwhelmed by the rest of NaVi. They're so far back, they the only time that they know what push is coming is when it's happening on a bomb site. And sort of as a rule of thumb, you want a little bit more warning than that.
What's fun is that this is actually, like, this map really is, I mean, a test of your bravery almost, if you're on the CT side. Because you need to be brave to go out against Guardian. When you know that there's, like, ops like this just lurking somewhere on the map, you do have to be able to just run out there and actually take those fights and believe that you can win them.
I mean,
it seems like Overpass more than others is really that map.
Yeah, I mean, it is a tough map, definitely, and there are a lot of angles if you do try and go aggressive that you have to cover, which is why I'm trying to say I think it's down to Dignitas' experience with the map more than them just playing very badly here. Like, I don't think they have enough of an idea about what flashes and smokes to throw to try and limit Guardians, you know, room to move around with up there, but still, it's, I don't know, their approach to playing the CT side was a little bit disappointing in the sense that it was, you know, by the time they found out that the lease was up on their apartments, you know, it was basically when all their shit was in the street. That was how they realized. They're like, oh, we've lost the bomb site. I guess we'll try next time and see what's up. That's not good enough. They need more than that. 12-3, you gotta, again, emphasize, this is an important game here. This is basically right at the edge of not being able to make it into the playoffs here. So you gotta step it up.
Speaking of which, Pimp is going to get a little bit of info at least. NaVi, look at NaVi's forward position here. Just straight up 3 guys at top mid looking to challenge Dignitas if they were to come out of T-spawn. Dignitas, though, they've chosen a different tack. They did leave one man in connector, that's Pimp, just to try and gather some info. But the rest of them are gathered up outside of Banana. B, rather. They're waiting to see if anybody on NaVi is going to go for a peek. It's just not the case, though. Are they going to? Is this going to pull the trigger? And yes, there it is. Finally, Dignitas decide that's enough. Let's go for the push.
Zeus gonna find the opening frag there. Kirby's getting the bomb down, but that's good news. MSL trying to take a fight once. He's got the burst fire out as well, but he's gonna go down. Edward and Zeus with a couple of refrags, and Tensky, last man left, and in a very bad position to be alone in here. He gets that shot on one. Almost a second kill on Zeus, but not gonna happen, and that will be a triple for Zeus instead, and NaVi winning a big round here.
Yeah. Just dominating, just dominant. I mean, they had the info. They saw that nobody was coming in through A side at all. They just all collapsed through, and then it just comes down to the pistol battles at that point, and the momentum that NaVi had carries them across the line. And now, well, Zeus has enough for an AWP if he wanted, but I don't think we can expect to see that from him. Instead, Guardian's going for the UMP. And this is a call from NaVi, also kind of going with Dignitas' style, which is not to go for that force buy in the second round, and especially not if they get that bomb plant. If this was Envy, it would be a different tack for NaVi. They'd probably be going, well, I mean, they still go rifles, but I mean, they'd be probably trying to counter that aggressive push more, or that aggressive style. Instead, Dignitas, they're going to eat a lot of nade damage.
Oh, hell yeah. Zeus there. Kill on one, spraying, and they line up for him. It's a nice triple kill for him. And just to emphasize before people start tweeting at me and saying, oh, but Anders, NaVi stayed in the CT spawn this round, you know, why didn't you say anything about that? Well, it's a little bit different if you know you're playing up against probably just pistols. Like, then if you push, all you really do is risk giving them some rifles early on, and it makes more sense to play defensively. So.
Sure.
Plus, playing defensively there, you're not actually giving them a chance to set up anything because they won't have grenades and smokes or anything to set up anything with. So the real estate that you're giving them, they can't really use it to anything. There you go.
Don't worry, you covered it, Anders.
If you were tweeting, then delete that tweet right now. Stop tweeting at me.
Oh no. Oh no.
In the tunnel as well. You know how deaf you're gonna be after that grenade goes up in there?
How dead you're gonna be. No, man, look at this. They get one trade kill at least. They take Flamey out in the end from Kirby, but man advantage still here for NaVi. Decent nade count still on them as well, and I'm curious to see if they're going to try and get aggressive and push, because Kirby showed the bomb when he was there. And yeah, you had 2 guys from NaVi actually push out through Monster, or at least peek at Monster, to see if they can catch anybody out here on Dignitas' side. They want to stop this bomb. If they can get control of it right now, this would be big. Pretty much end the round.
Squeak being open there, Pimp landing a good headshot, but Guardian getting one in. He tries to do a full 90-degree spray, just continue on there. Pretty good effort, but not good enough. 40 seconds now, and it is still Susan Seized alive on the CT side. Tensky and Pimp on the other side, trying to see if they can somehow miraculously bring Dignitas back in this game.
They're going to need something. 30 seconds, smoke goes down. They're going to get a free plant out of this. Zeus is close, though, and Zeus... boom. Oh, it actually doesn't do any damage at all. Nade overshoots, and Seized is lost on short, so now it's going to be down to Tensky and Pimp. Both of them low. Zeus still has a smoke to play with as well. He didn't realize that somebody was still playing on the site itself, though, and that's going to cost him dearly, but still picks up 1 kill. Only problem is he actually lost a lot of his bonus HP. If he wanted to go for a smoke defuse, every point of HP counts, and now he's down to 13. A single bullet will do it here. And Tensky will just be patient. He doesn't even, once he hears that smoke go up, he doesn't even go into peek. He knew that Zeus was coming for him, Anders.
Yeah, brave stuff from Tensky. I also think there was he never heard like a diffused sound, so he probably felt a bit confident there. Pretty good stuff. And Dignitas will barely win that round. NaVi responding with an AWP, a couple of rifles here. They want to shut this game down quick. And round difference. We say it every night, some will say it again. It really does matter.
Yeah. You just, yeah, exactly. That's super important as well for a team like NaVi right now. We're sitting on like 5 losses in this league. So every round win is going to be so important for NaVi at this point. Whereas Dignitas, if they lose this, that's going to put them on 7 losses and pretty much out of the running for the LAN. They're already very close, 6-6, pretty much no round difference to speak of, -27. It's already looking grim. Only the big W is going to save them, Anders, but it's not looking possible here. 14-4.
Yeah, I'm not believing in it either. I feel like it's past the point in time where it really makes sense to talk about. Edward playing down here with the Deagle, looking both ways. He's going to realize there's a couple of people there. Misses. Oh, he does get the second shot there. Headshot on AZ. Tensky with the double reply is still going to be pretty good for Dignitas, and nobody else here to really stop this push. So maybe NaVi should just focus on saving what they have.
Yeah, that AWP would be pretty slick to hold on to for Guardian. That's exactly what he's doing as well, just staying up on this A site. He's actually looking to get the kill over on the man holding it long, but Pimp is expecting somebody to try and push through mid to catch him, and that's not going to be the case. Instead, Flamey waiting around in restroom. So they really do actually kind of want to box Pimp in if they could. NaVi, that is, but nothing possible yet. And so Dignitas, I mean, for Dignitas, really, it's just, it is that grind, that no fear, one round after another. And that wasn't too bad a call to just go rushing out onto that B site.
No, it's working out right here. Pimp also doing a lot of damage to Flamey. Guardian going to pick up the 1 kill here. NaVi going to lose 1 rifle, and that's a nice kill from Pimp there. Really good job. You're going to put a little bit of a break on NaVi, but for how long? Because you're right, it was a decent call for B. The problem is essentially right now, if you're Dignitas, you need to make 11 pretty good calls in a row.
Yeah.
And that's so hard to do, you know. Some of those calls, sometimes you can base part of your play on like whatever information you have, but sometimes a call is just a call and it's either right or it's wrong, you know, and then you have to try and, fight with what you got. And we'll see if that's going to be possible for Dignitas here.
Seems to get the rough jobs for NaVi. Like on T side, he's the one lurking over towards B, just doing his thing. And here on CT, he's in danger of getting overrun in the restroom. At least he's getting some info, but he's going to get jumped on by Tensky here. So he's within lethal range, or nearly so. If Tensky steps forward close, yeah, headshot could have done it there, but Tensky just gets the angle right, and now they're going to be able to push onto this site. There is Flamey here trying to hold the line with the P250, and Guardian chimes in, takes out MSL. So they are making this close. Guardian with another kill, that AWP, it's so important, and when it's in the hands of Guardian, he's just capable of everything. Zeus with the backstab, and it's falling apart completely. Dignitas, no.
Yeah, I mean, if it wasn't done already, it definitely is now. Not a lot else to say, really. Great round there, and Guardian, as you said, he steals that open, or he gets that open, then that's all he needs. Triple kill for him, double for Zeus, and he's got 26 kills, Guardian. So this has been one of those games where he's really been allowed to take over a lot. And 15-5, 10 straight match points coming up for Dignitas to make overtime.
Yeah. And they actually got a pretty decent buy, all things considered. But yeah, it does feel just a touch hopeless here for them, honestly. And well, I mean, we couldn't have had high hopes though, because there is record, like what we said at the beginning of the match, right? They have faced on Overpass before, and this was about a month ago, and they got slammed 16-6 Dignitas.
Now, if you guys were watching from the beginning and I said Guardian had predictable positions, this is one of them. This is one of the ones that he loves playing, and there are so many ways to counter this position. So again, it should be somewhat obvious that it's happening. The rest of the defense for NaVi, I think, is a little bit too far back in the A-bomb side for my liking, but winning the first fight anyway and gonna get the kill on MSL. Guardian has to be careful that no one's gonna sneak up in front of him by the restrooms, but he's not really afraid of that right now.
No real damage being dealt there. At least Zeus, that was a clever little boost used there by NaVi. And Zeus actually stuck around long enough. I thought it might be a little risky considering they have to stand in front of the wood. So there's a real risk of getting wall banged. But Zeus just keeps getting all the info for his team. He spots them coming out of connector, picks off one, and now he goes for a jump and still sees that there's players waiting for him in sewers. Seized is going to take out AZ though. And that was, again, was that... How did that happen?
Yeah, shooting through up here. Can just wall bang down all the way. Guardian getting the shot on Tensky, who was mid-air, not allowed to move back towards the connector, and Guardian gonna hit the shot on Pimp, trying to get a little bit of information. Kiebu, last man left. Guardian goes down. He's gonna be stuck at 28 kills, I believe, and now Kiebu 1 versus 3 here. 10 seconds left, trying to see if he can make it up on the side, and it's not gonna happen. Flamey to shut him down, and NaVi to take a big win over Dignitas.
Yeah, just utter dominance. And 16-5, so they actually did 1 round better than the last time they faced on this map, NaVi. So, you know, no real messing around. They just kind of shut them out tonight, Anders. There wasn't any really too close a match. But that pretty much, I mean, again, we have to reiterate, you know, that pretty much ends the running here as far as Dignitas are concerned in this group phase. 7 losses is not going to cut it to make the LAN.
Yeah, so a little bit upsetting. They have a really good start. I mean, I guess we'll see what the eventual calculation says. Maybe we'll have like a 6-way tie or something to figure it out. But I don't know if that's impossible. I'm not like I'm not good at that stuff. Just to catch you guys up, because I promised you that I would ask Pimp about that 9th round with the scout and everything, and he said, yeah, that's exactly what happened. He said, the only thing you're going to fear in a round like that is a scout, so making a little bit of noise in it and running back, that's exactly what he wanted to do. So good thoughts put into that. I like that. It's a small detail. So, you know, you guys, you know, we all became a little bit wiser tonight. I really enjoy that. Now, what?
We all became a little bit wiser.
Yeah, we learned a little bit. I've learned a lot today. I spent the whole day watching the presidential the debates, like the Democratic debate I was watching, which was like pretty good. And then I watched the Republican one, which is amazing. Like the Republican one is super good entertainment. You have no idea.
It's not entertaining. It makes you want to bash your face into the desk repeatedly.
The candidates, like how they present themselves, I have no idea how any of them expect to get elected. But, like they're really creepy people. Some of them, like on both sides of the spectrum. Like if you can like look straight into a camera and say like, you know, I am a honorable, moral, and good person, and you should elect me for office. It's like I have no idea how that works. It's completely mad. They sound like robots, but it's a lot of fun. I spent a good 4 hours of my day doing that. While I was doing other work, though. I wasn't just doing that. All right. Well, our next game coming up is still going to be Hellraisers. I'm actually completely confused.
Yeah, it's going to be Hellraisers
Dignitas. So a team that has just had a pretty rough loss, but against one of the bottom teams on the current listing. So we'll see if they can make their way back up. Hellraisers here.
This is assuming that Hellraisers beat SK because that was a match that was running side by side here. So don't know the results yet for that one. It hasn't been updated quite yet. It seems. Hold on. Of course, when I hit refresh now, it's going to take 10 years.
Yeah.
What happened?
Internet.
Okay, never mind. But as it stands, Hellraisers is sitting very low. They're sitting 11th in the group, but they've only played 6 matches, Anders.
As you well know, the internet is a series of tubes, and sometimes
it has updated. So Hellraisers, they beat SK, so SK are at 0-10. 0-10 in the league. Hellraisers, though, that jumps them up to 9th with 3-4. So Hellraisers, I mean, best of 1, that's their bread and butter. They break dreams on that, Anders. You know, that's the history there, you know, between Hellraisers and best of 1 group phases. That's Titan, just ask them.
Yeah, something they really do enjoy. Oh, yeah. Titan, DreamHack in France.
It was a time when I believed.
Yeah, sad times. Look, we're going to go for a quick break here, just about 4 minutes, and then we'll be back in the mix again with Dignitas and Hellraisers. If you've missed this game or any of the ones and you want to catch up on what's happening in the tournament, go and check out the Score Esports. Also, download the application on your Android or iOS phone, and then you can you keep up with everything. Also, articles and much more than that. So go and check it out. Really cool stuff. That's going to be right after the break here, Hellraisers and Dignitas. And do you know what map we're going to be playing at?
Hellraisers Dig, is it not Cash?
I think
mistaken.
I think they said Cash, yeah.
Where is it?
I feel like it's essential for us to know. We can mentally prepare for it.
Mirage, actually.
Mirage. Oh, that's cool. I like that. So that's actually a really good map for it. Gonna be on Mirage, and we'll be right back after a quick 5-minute break.